Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. If you're watching this when this is posted, otherwise, it is a timeless message. And the energy right now is showing that some of you in a collective have released something. There has been a release, an immense amount of burden has been released, an immense amount of responsibility, this mental responsibility to something that didn't belong to you. So, if this message resonates, stick around. We're going to be getting deeper into this. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Remember, don't make it fit. But the message I was getting in this was that there was a mental burden happening, and you were carrying this weight for a period of time, and you were reliving this narrative in your mind. And this reliving of the narrative became this immense burden. And you came to the realization recently, very recently, that you are not truly understanding who this burden, this pattern, and I'm hearing pattern of behavior, this repetitive pattern that was happening in your life that didn't belong to you. This was someone else's pattern. And you received this new perspective, a new understanding on really what was going on. That in fact, this belonged to other people, that you were carrying this pattern of behavior and it didn't belong to you. This was just somebody else. And this, because of this, it became an immensely heavy weight. And because of that, you realize that you had to cut these ties. You had to release this energy. And this happened very recently. I mean, it could have been yesterday. I mean, it could have been, right now. It could have been this revelation that you received where you were like, wait a minute, I've been sitting here and carrying this weight the entire time. And this was not my responsibility. This did not belong to me, though I was feeling this guilt, and there was a guilt involved in this as well. But your higher self grabbed hold of you. Your higher self was like, look, I'm watching out for you. This does not belong to you. This is not your energy. And you really relied on the divine to guide you through this. You sat in prayer, you sat in connection with the universe, however that looks for you. Everyone is different. But you went through those memories in your mind and you realized that you were carrying the weight that did not belong to you. And through that, you have been gaining this new idea of how you are going to move forward, how you are going to influence your own life and your sphere. And you realize that through this new perspective, that you are able to hone in on what direction you need to go in your life. Because now that you release that, yeah, see, Spirit's saying that now that you release that, you have allowed yourself to have the space to be able to bring something in that's going to allow you to gain more influence in your life and be able to move yourself in a different direction. Because in the end, you are the master of your domain. You're the one in control. Um, Through the decisive decisions that you make right now, you are going to be able to gear the direction of how everything goes. Because Spirit is clearly saying that you release something. Something got released. That is the major thing of this message, is that you released a mental burden that did not belong to you. And through that, you are going to see an immense amount of abundance come your way in your life. And that's pretty much what this message revolved around, is a release of this pattern behavior of you carrying the weight of something very specific. And for everybody, it could be different, right? It's something that you were carrying with you mentally that did not belong to you. And you realized recently that it didn't, and this burden was released, and it felt like a huge weight being lifted off of you. And the angel numbers that came out, so we got two. The first one that came out was 321, and that's boundaries. And this really revolves around boundaries. You being able to set down those boundaries and say, this no longer belongs to me. I am going to release this because this is not my burden to carry. And that came through you setting and holding your boundaries, which is quite something you should be quite proud of yourself about, because that takes an amount of courage to be able to hold steadfast in not wavering in those boundaries and holding them firm. You need to set boundaries in your life. It is so important. There are those who take too much, and your angels are reminding you that you don't have to let them. It is very true that in this situation, people were pulling your energy, taking from your energy, putting these burdens on top of you that did not belong to you, and they are not yours to carry. It's important to say no to what harms you. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. Think of a boundary you can set today, then put it in place. You have the support of your angels. Continue to review your boundaries. That's what I'm hearing very strongly. Continue to review your boundaries. And if you need to reconfigure them, if you need to change them, it is all in your hands. You are the master of your destiny. And then Spirit said split the deck. And what we got was financial balance. Check your habits. For some of you, this burden was impacting you financially. And you realize that as you released this burden um, that did not belong to you, that in fact this was causing a financial imbalance in your life in some way. And this isn't for everybody, but for some of you, check your habits. This is a wake up call from your angels. The flow of money reflects a flow of energy. Your angels want you to feel secure and balanced in your state of mind, and your financial contribution, your finances contribute to that. And I'm getting a really strong message now that for some of you, and this is very specific, for some of you, you have people in your life that were financially draining you. They were depleting you financially, making you responsible for financial things that were not your responsibility, or they were doing it through guilt. I'm hearing that too, that they would make you feel guilty, like, oh, you should be giving us money towards this, or you should be giving me money towards this. And it was revolving around a level of guilt, which is very interesting that that message came through. Take time today to get real about what is coming into and going out of your bank. Make any organizational changes you can to improve the flow of your funds. Make sure that every day you're looking at your finances. Really look at every penny that's coming in and out, because you would be shocked at, things that you don't really notice that are coming in and out of your bank accounts. And now's the time to pay attention to that. And then we got the Neuro Linguistics card, overlapping systems. People process information differently. Some prefer visual cues, others prefer auditory or kinesthetics. Using overlapping representational systems, you can bridge communication gaps. Speak in images, sounds, and feelings to ensure your message resonates with everyone, regardless of their preferred modality. When you're communicating, make sure that you're very clear, especially when it comes to your boundaries, that I'm hearing very clearly. And then the word that we got for today, which I love, is purpose. This is another action word for me. And I absolutely love this word because this is something you were born for this. You were born for purpose. It's coded in your DNA. It's something that's within you. It is the compass that keeps you on track every day. It all boils down to the things that settle in your soul. This is a soul mission for you. We think of it as something that makes us happy, but it's more than happiness. It's a feeling of belonging or understanding yourself on a deeper level. You know you have a purpose here. You know you're going to make changes, and it is huge. The point of it all, why exist? Know your purpose. Everything has a time and a place. Everything and everyone has a role to play. The thread of the tapestry are all needed for the image to appear. Pull out and and the design falls apart. To give it a reason, to assign a job, sometimes that job is only to be present. A grand gesture or an adventure is not always needed. This is not about action. Okay, so in preparation for setting your intentions and considering everything that we've read here, ask yourself these questions. Why are you on this path? What use does this have for you? How can you align your actions and intentions? Be sure to ask yourself those questions when you're setting your intentions. All right, everyone. I wish you all well today, and we'll catch up later when we do the shadow reading. Blessings, everyone.